Assalamu alaikum and good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining this session on building a global startup in the Maldives. This is the first Founder Institute local session that we are presenting. I am Aisha, I'm the local chapter leader, and together with me, Nisha is here. And we have amazing speakers from Maldives as well today. So let's have a look at about what Founder Institute is about. Founder Institute is the world's most proven network to turn ideas into fundable startups and startups into global businesses. We have this opportunity here for Maldivian inventors, dreamers, and who are trying to thrive in the startup world. Together today, we are joined by amazing speakers who have set their foot in the global space and taken their startups to the next level. We are very proud to have Shafiu, Nattu, and Eedham joining us today. So they will be sharing about their experiences, most importantly, their mistakes and their approaches, how they built their startups. And as we go along, if you have any questions about Founder Institute, or if you have any questions for our speakers, please feel free to write in the chat. We will be taking it and trying to answer all your questions. Right, so let's move to our speakers. I think they all have very inspiring journeys and very important messages for all of us. Let's get into the introduction. We will start with Shafiu. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Shafiu, and I co-founded ourselves with 3 other guys in 2018 with a vision of creating the game development industry in Maldives, because that was something that's not here in Maldives. We actually started out as a marketing agency to help us fund Islanders at the time. Islander being the game that we were working on at the moment. We were actually learning to make games ourselves. And later down the road, we actually made a mobile game called Takuros, and that was in 2019. We pitched the game into some local companies for investment, and we actually managed to get on Dirag as one of our partners, and that's how Takuros went on, and we released the first version at we released the first version of Takuros at 2019. Yeah. We actually stopped Islanders halfway because we figured out that that was too big for us at the moment, and Takuros was a smaller project compared to Islanders. And then slowly we moved into the global space by providing game development services for global companies all over the world. That was after the COVID actually took a good hit on us and actually disrupted our business, the revenue model and all. I think that happened to a lot of businesses during that time. So we started reaching out to companies and going over Discord channels and LinkedIn's and just finding companies from as far as like Google Maps and stuff and reaching out to them. Like these are some of the games that we have created, and these are some of the services that we can provide for you guys. So, and slowly by building a portfolio, we stopped our marketing agency on 2021, and we actually haven't been focusing at all on taking work here locally, and fully moved on to helping people make their games all over the world. So that's what we are focused on, and we actually secured a good funding for Takuros as well from Epic's migrants, which I'm keen to share how the whole process went with them and some of the other conversations that we are having at the moment with some of the other games we are making at the moment. So I think that's it for me. I can pass it on to.
Yes, thank you so much, Shafiu. I think that's brilliant thing from marketing to game development and becoming the first Maldivian company dedicated for game development and moving from Maldives to other spaces. That is excellent. So next let's move to Nattu. He is the CEO and he is the co-founder and CTO of Lotify. Nattu.
Everyone, how's everyone doing? I hope good. It's a bit late in here. I'm currently based out of Malaysia, but super excited to be on this call. About me, I'm actually from Formula, south of Maldives, and I don't know, drop out from school halfway, and then started I don't know, a photography journey to trying to build or trying to code and trying to design and trying to do everything. And I think this is what happens when you end up being sort of in technology in the Maldives at the very early stage, because you can't find people to help you out. So you end up becoming that person. But soon, after a couple of years in the Maldives, I actually left to come to Malaysia. Of course, back in the Maldives, stayed a web agency and tried to learn my way around technology. Came to Malaysia only to discover that, hey, here's a huge opportunity on the way that we actually build products. So got myself more into the product side of things rather than just tech and design, and ended up creating like a weekend project that was Lotify. And then about after 1.5 years later, started that as a company. And I don't know, we promised ourselves that we will only have 10 people as team members. We just crossed 117, I think, last week. So that's kind of that life right now. About Lottie is around a whole new animation format called Lottie. And that's more of like a JSON, a vector-based animation. So if you use Telegram, if you use let's say any Google apps, or if you click on that like button on Twitter, they are all Lottie animations. They are just super small. What we're doing as a company is trying to bring motion to the world, meaning that when you think about motion, it's so hard. And you won't even think about bringing motion to the presentations or any of the things that you're actually working on. So we feel like this is, again, a huge task that we have, that we want to go and capture that market or capture that category and bring motion to the world. Pretty much like before, let's say Canva, only people who knew Photoshop were able to sort of design things. Post Canva, now everybody feels like they can actually design things. So pretty much Canva democratized that market. We want to do what Canva did to design. We want to do that to motion as well. So that is the overall goal. Happy to help, happy to share the journey. I can just sum that up, all of that in 2 minutes, but feel free to reach out here for any questions, or even after this directly to me as well. I would be more than happy to just share my experience as well. And and thank you for having me, Aisha, Nisha, and all thanks to Founders Institute as well.
Yeah, thank you, Nattu. I think you became the person you were actually searching for, and that is pretty interesting. And then now you are serving the globe of, I believe, 135,000 teams in companies you are empowering, including the biggest companies like Google, Netflix, Airbnb, and many more. So this is the chance that we all get to know a lot more from you. Let's hope we have a few more minutes with you later on. Yes, next we have Eedham, a visionary in the education industry. Eedham is the CEO of Hologo World. Believe me, if you learn about the startup of Eedham, the way that you think about education, the way you deliver things will change. Yes, let's go to Eedham.
Thank you. That's really kind of you, Aisha. And thanks a lot for the invitation. Um, let me begin by why we actually began the journey of Hologo. We were involved back since 2008 in operating brick and mortar physical private schools. And some of the schools that we were operating was situated in Himalaya, and then we began to have more schools in various islands across Maldives. And we thought it would be very sensible to actually have some sort of an online solution to share resources between schools, internal schools. And then that's when we developed a solution first, which we called Teaching Tube. And that's all video based. And we used a lot of digital and 3D models to teach various concepts. And then just like any naive startup founder, we thought that this will become an instant hit, which it didn't. And then we began to deep dive into how we can actually position ourselves to be something different in the education landscape. And when we actually looked into the market, there were so many established players such as Khan Academy, many solutions all over, even in the neighboring countries such as India. That's when we thought we should up our game and look into technologies that would truly transform the way people teach in school and when they leave school as well. And we thought augmented reality and mixed reality is coming. AR is here, but still adoption isn't as it would become in the next 5 years or 3 to 5 years. So we started off really early, and we thought immersive technologies will do wonders when it comes to teaching students, and teachers can use it to simulate basically anything. So the vision that we had for Hologo is for one day school children to be able to disassemble and assemble engines, or an engine of a BMW car, even though they don't have the car with them. They should be able to simulate surgeries and do it together in collaboration with children who are in school with them, and also with children who are away in other schools as well, or even with a surgeon from a renowned hospital who connects with them online. So all of these things will be only the enabler of this would be mixed reality, augmented reality, and 3D based technology, and all of it coming together, and having a platform where people can collaborate. And that's when we began, why we began Hologo. And it's been an interesting and tough journey so far, and happy to share more about it. I think that's a brief 2-minute introduction, and I'll be more than glad to deep dive into successes, challenges, failures, all of these things that we've come across over the last 3 years. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Eedham. Now it makes me feel like I should go back to school and study, because you have brought this amazing tech for students. I hope that you are now in more than 161 countries, and we hope that you actually cover most part of the globe. Yes.
Thank you.
Going back to Shafiu and Nattu, when the idea of your startups, when it came to you, so how did you react? Did you even, because Eedham did mention that how he actually thought of moving across the country and reaching out to other partners, other places, but Lotifas and also, let's say, Asil's Takul was, how did you actually, when you got the idea, how did you think about moving it, or actually making it more usable for the world? Like, how did you go on with the idea? Yeah, let's
In the
start with
case of,
Nattu.
okay.
Go for it, Shafiu.